Hi, good morning. My name is Laura Gonzalez, and this is my individual SWOT analysis. So a quick introduction. Again, my name is Laura, and this is my family. So I'm one of four sisters, first generation Hispanic, and these are my nephews and nieces, and they're very important to me. And we like to get together and go to games and just different family events. This is actually my second bachelor's degree. I originally went to the University of Houston Conrad Hilton College because I wanted to work in hotels and travel and manage. But unfortunately, that didn't work out. It seemed that the more I tried to get into hotels, the more I was pushed into the restaurant business. And the picture that you're seeing right now is actually me doing a college program for Walt Disney World. I went my freshman year for 5 months, and these are some of my coworkers. But I worked in the Walt Disney World main Magic Kingdom on Main Street. And one of the places that we worked was the Cone Shop and Bakery. And this is just us after a shift, just being silly and taking photos. Also, I was lucky enough to be offered a job in China. I was working in Guangzhou for about 3 months, and I was put into a role of customer service rep. And the experience was amazing because it's a completely different culture, nothing like ours, and it was a good experience. I was able to learn and adapt just to the different customs. Everybody was very nice. Of course, things are very different, but it gave me a chance just to kind of see how businesses run in other parts of the world. And this was a company that was trying to branch out. They were primarily in the US, but they were trying to reach out to the European countries. And I thought that was interesting because I was able to speak to different vendors and customers and just kind of, again, adapt the way that you speak to different people around the world. This is another picture of us just being tourists. And this is the sign of Guangzhou. So I currently work for MD Anderson. This is my MD Anderson family. I've been there for a little over a year. And I love it there. It's one of the best places to work. It's more customer service based. I'm a patient representative, and we work inside the Rotary House. It's our MD Anderson office. So we cater to the patients, mostly staying there, and we try to reach out to them. This is one of our patients here, Miss Mary. Unfortunately, she passed away not too long ago, but we see these patients on a daily basis, it seems, and you just kind of grow this bond with them. And it's different from any other place I've ever worked, where it is mostly polite and just cordial versus actually developing a relationship and being able to help these patients and see them. And this is just us throwing her a birthday party for her past birthday. This is us organizing an event for Caregiver Appreciation Week. And my boss thought this was funny and took a picture of us. We had to carry like 1,000 balloons over to the main building and set everything up and organize it. So some fun facts about me. I love to travel. This is me again in China. And in one of the national parks, we're able to pet the animals there. Really, I've mostly gone to places like Europe, really nowhere in the US. It just hasn't really interested me. This is me in Paris before they took down that bridge. They're not allowed to put locks anymore. It was just weighing it down, and it was a hazard. This is me and my family in Hawaii. We like to travel together again. We do everything together. So this is one of our family trips, and we were at a luau. So moving on to the SWOT analysis, I have it laid out here: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. One of my strengths, again, is that I'm very customer service driven, and I think it just comes from my first degree. and also being able to work primarily in the customer service business. For example, I also worked at an optometrist office, and my boss was great. She encouraged me to take classes, just sort of different business management styles. And it helped me a lot, because before, you're just taught the business side of things, how to run a business, but not really the customer service. And so she was very helpful in helping me improve my skills. I'm committed to working and growing. Sorry, this is my dogs. And what that just means is, right now I plan on working just for MD Anderson. I know a lot of my professors say I should branch out, but it's a great company. They offer a lot of different opportunities they like to promote within, and I would like to stay and continue to grow with them, see what else they have to offer me within that institution. Experienced, again, I've been very lucky to be offered positions where my bosses are very encouraging and helpful, and not only, again, customer service based, but managing. I was able to manage an office, manage different parts of accounts, for example, like the one in China. And then moving on to my weaknesses, sometimes I'm too focused on a particular project. And by that, I mean, I'm just so focused on getting something done that I forget to include my coworkers. And sometimes it comes off as standoffish. And so what that just means, a lot of places now, I feel, are trying to be more, it's about the team, it's a group effort, and I completely understand. And again, but sometimes I just get too focused and forget to include people, or I just go into my own little zone, and they kind of have to bring me out of it sometimes. Gap in knowledge. By that, I mean, again, I've worked primarily with just customer service, some managing, some budgets, but it's not, I'm just afraid that going into an institution like MD Anderson, it's going to be, of course, it's going to be completely different, but I'm afraid it's going to show. Is my, all of these classes that I've taken for accounting, is that going to, show when I start to work in a completely different field? And it could be yes, it could be no. Again, though, I think I'm pretty quick to learn, so it may not show as much, but that's something that I feel is my weakness right now. And also just used to working with patients. By that, I mean, I've just always dealt with worrying about the customer, caring for the customer, and it's going to be a different transition, and I'm going to miss it. I think it's just, it's nice to work with, you meet the people who you're working for, and it's nice for them to give you, I guess, that reassurance that what you're doing is worth it, and it's helpful, and they appreciate it. And I think moving into the back office and working in the main building and not dealing with patients on a daily basis, I'm going to miss that, I think. No, I'm sure. The opportunities. What's great about MD Anderson is that they love to promote within. They encourage it. They offer mentoring programs, and that's something that I enrolled for. So you look for those already, those people already established within the institution, and you pick what you want to focus on. For example, do you want more of a time management, mentoring program? Is it about getting more organized, budgeting? Again, it just varies across the fields. You have everything from the medical field to accounting to IT. So it's great. So I think I'm looking forward to doing that. I have right now support from my current boss. She understands that, wanting to grow within the institution, and she's always saying, let's meet people. Who do you want to meet? Let's do this. And right now it's a little difficult working the night shift, you know, because I get there and she's leaving, but she's always been very encouraging and likes to sit down with me, you know, every couple of months and just say, oh, you know, how's it going? What are your plans now? I can talk to people for you, and I always appreciate it. So definitely that's great to have. That's definitely an opportunity. And again, I know I keep mentioning this, but MD Anderson loves to promote. So they usually recommend that you stay there within the year, but after that, you know, they don't mind that you move. It's not frowned upon, I guess. Some of the threats that I think is right now, if I stay with MD Anderson, I'll become too comfortable. By that I mean, you know, you have the 8 to 5 job, you have your weekends off, you have the paid vacation. Is it not? Am I going to stop challenging myself to grow? I don't think so, but I think after working so long and so many different shifts, night shifts primarily, you know, you just kind of want to take a little break. And something that I see in my coworker, very smart, you know, wanted to be a physician's assistant, but you get comfortable with this job. It's just nice. I mean, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a different change from having to go to work, having to go to school every day, and you just want to kind of take a break. It's a more competitive environment. By that I mean it's very difficult to get into the institution, but once you're in, it's a little bit easier to move around. But you know, you're fighting all these different applicants who want to work for the best cancer center in the world, I think, you know. So I think that's definitely a threat. Then there comes the work overload. By that I mean, and again, I think it's just transitioning from a patient representative job to working for an office setting. Just, am I going to overdo it? Am I going to focus in on my zone again and not let everybody in to help? That's something that I'm not too worried about, but I think that's something to look out for, definitely. So some of my goals are listed here. We have the short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. Short-term goals definitely is to pay off my student loans. I don't want to be in my 50s, 60s still trying to pay that off. I think it's very important and definitely a big deal to me. Another short-term goal is to secure the position in the MD Anderson accounting department, which I'm looking into right now. I think I'm going to wait until I graduate, though. Don't want to apply early. Just want to wait till I'm done with finals and everything and relax for a little bit. Some of my midterm goals are to get my CPA certification. And again, I'm going to take a break for maybe 6 months and then go back at it and start to study, maybe take off a month and do a study session course. I know U of H campus was offering one over the summer, and I was interested in doing that. But you're not allowed to work. You know, it's an 8 to 5 job going to study for the CPA exam. So if I'm able to, my job allows it, I will take off a month and just focus on that. And then also to advance to a higher accounting position. I think, again, just a little self-doubt here, I can't help it, but I want to start off with maybe a basic level 1 accounting job. I know I can do it, but I'm just so nervous. But then eventually move into either the finance department or just a higher level accountant position. Some of my long-term goals are definitely, I was lucky enough to volunteer for the neighborhood tax centers this past January. And what I liked about that was that it gave you the chance to help these lower income families. Most of them were primarily Hispanic. That didn't really understand how the taxes work. I don't think really anyone does. It's kind of hard. But when you're thrown into a situation where English is your second language, you don't really understand how the government works. it was enlightening because I tried to teach them a little bit and have maybe managed it a little better for the next coming year. And why was it that they weren't receiving the tax refund that they were expecting to get? Just to kind of just educate, you know, sad to say, the lower income part of society, you know. It's just nice to give back, you know, and have them understand why it is that it works this way. Maybe even offer to teach some, I know they have some classes, English classes, but also they have how to apply for your first mortgage, what is a loan, things like that, you know, that's something I would like to do on a yearly basis and just long term. Also, I have someone who's looking into opening a coffee shop in the next couple of years, and I think that would be something interesting to help work for and build for. So, just opening a business, especially here, it's just a little tricky, and I think it's going to be a long-term goal because, of course, the first couple of years they're going to be bumpy, but eventually grow it into maybe a local Houston chain and just be able to, again, apply a little bit of my customer service or a lot of my customer service knowledge with some of the business accounting side that I'm starting to learn now. I think that is definitely going to be fun. So, conclusion, if there's anything that I've learned here in my life is that it's pretty unpredictable. And I thought this was a funny quote. I know I'm good for something, I just haven't found it yet. I think I'm just been thrown into the situation where most of my job positions were customer service driven, and now I'm trying to focus more on the money management side of it. Definitely, I know that I work hard, you know, I love to travel, I love to reward myself. I don't mind taking a 2-week vacation. I know you need to reboot. And definitely I want to give back to my community by volunteering. And I love this quote too. It says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So I think I'm never going to lose my passion to learn. Definitely I'm afraid that I'll get too comfortable, but I think eventually I'll just snap back. And it took me 5 years to come back to school and finish my second degree. I was always postponing it, but finally I just thought, you know, now's the time. But I think eventually I might down the road just choose to reinvent myself, and I wouldn't mind going back to work in China, definitely. So that's something that's on my bucket list, and just to learn a new language, definitely, and just travel. I think that's the best learning experience that anyone can have. So this is my SWOT analysis. I think, again, over time it changes, but this is more current as to where I'm working now and the goals that I want in life. So thank you and have a good day.